Welcome to the No Guilt Fangirls podcast, where liking what you like is never a bad thing. Here's your host and head fangirl in charge, Patty Holiday.
Hey y'all, welcome to the No Guilt Fangirls podcast. I'm your host and head fangirl in charge, Patty Holiday. We are coming to you from Walt Disney World today, and I have some special guests. I'm so excited about them. These folks are runDisney royalty. Yes, I'm talking about runDisney again because you guys know it's one of my biggest fandoms. I can't help myself. All right, so today we have the runDisney Balloon Ladies. Ta-ta-da! Yay! Here to answer all of your questions, and I can tell you right now they are not scary. Like, that's number one. There's your answer to that question.
Thank goodness.
All right, so say hi to Molly and Heather, who will be pacing the Goofy at the 2020 Marathon Weekend here at the Walt Disney World Resort. Hey, ladies.
Hey.
So, you know, these people want to know all about you. First of all, let's just talk about what the runDisney Balloon Lady is.
All right. So we are the 16-minute pace keepers. We keep the 16-minute pace for Disney and for the runners. We are the visuals out there so that everybody knows where the 16-minute pace is. You know, years ago, the Disney bikers used to be the 16-minute pace keepers, and we all thought it was a bunch of hooey that they were riding bikes telling us we were not on pace. So now we are keeping the pace because we're out there with you.
And you're not the sweepers.
No, we are not the sweepers. We are the visuals. Please get this straight. We are the visuals for everybody. runDisney, those are the bad guys. They'll be the ones who will sweep you. I mean, plus the police will be there too. But, you know, we are just visuals. We are fun people. We want to keep you motivated. We want you to finish. We do not want you to get swept. I have turned around and looked at the bus many a times and cried because people get swept, and it breaks my heart. So
I'll bet. Yeah. So it sounds like you've seen some stuff in the back of the pack.
Oh, yes, always.
All right. So I think that's the important thing to know is that the 16-minute mile pace at runDisney is enforced. For the races, for the 10K, the half marathon, and the marathon distance. And these folks, just happens to be women that have been doing this the whole time here. There were actually one or two runDisney balloon dudes in the Disneyland races, because I don't know why they wouldn't just fly y'all out there for that. You guys are the experts.
I know. We tried so hard, and they said no.
They should have, because you guys are the experts, Molly. You're the experts. I just used to do the Disneyland races, and no offense to the Disneyland Pacers, but there was a different one every single time. And you guys you have this down. How long have you been pacing?
I think I came in on the second Princess, I think. I can't remember. It's been 10 or 11 years, and I have done all of the 10Ks halves. Okay, I haven't done Goofy every time, I guess. So I've done a lot of Goofies, but at least 10 or 11 years.
And you did at least one Dopey that I know of.
Yeah, I did inaugural Dope, and then I did inaugural Goofy, too, before I was pacing on my own.
On your own. Okay, all right. And last time we talked, you did one of these when you were pregnant.
I didn't run here when I was pregnant.
Okay.
I got pregnant, and I was signed up. And one of the other balloon ladies who was training for her first marathon, Nancy, and she was so mad at me that I got pregnant, and then she had to run the marathon by herself for the first time.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, no. I did run another marathon when I was pregnant, but not here.
Okay, all right. Now, what is the biggest myth that you hear out about you just in the runner sphere? Like, what is something that you want to set the record straight on that people say about you, around you, whatever? I have one that I'm going to point out, but you tell me, like, what kind of like drives you crazy that people think.
Just that we are mean and horrible, and we yell and we push everybody, and I hate being told that I'm mean.
No, you're not. You're not. And I've had people tell wonderful stories about how encouraging and wonderful you were. So I don't believe that for a second. What drives me crazy, and this happens with almost every single race, Oh, they didn't do 16 minutes. They went past me, and I was doing exactly 16 minutes, and they were not doing 16 minutes. So do you want to explain, like, how that works?
Sure.
Because
that is a very big problem. Everybody thinks that. So actually, after all of the runners start, we are the very last people to start. Run Disney, all the bikers, they come out, all the SAG bikers, and we all start our timing watches together. Then, depending on if it's hot or if there are other issues going on in the weather or whatever, they may hold us for 1 or 2 minutes. Usually it's a minute. I think the longest we've ever been held was 3 minutes, and it was on a hot Princess day. But they hold us for about a minute. We all sync up watches together, and then every single mile, we meet up with Run Disney at the mile marker. We if we're too fast, like 30 seconds fast, because sometimes we get fast because we get excited too. They'll hold us, and we have to stand there and wait. But then we're cheering people on. We're encouraging them to go. We want them to get beyond us. We want them to have that minute ahead of us or 30 seconds ahead of us. So we actually have to meet up with them. But when we get up to the mile markers and they're waving their flags because we're behind pace, then we have to run, which stresses people out even more because now we're having to run to catch up to the pace because, we got stuck in, boardwalk or in the corral or somewhere along the course.
The usual places where it gets really tight and crowded.
Right.
You still have to get 16-minute miles.
Right.
And so you've got to pick it up and get going.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And usually it's actually been pretty good. If everybody can keep the same pace or have a good walk pace, we actually all move along at a really good clip. And it stresses people out because they're having to walk fast.
Yeah.
Most people that are back with us are not fast walkers. They are runners, and they trained running. And so now they're having to walk. And many people will attest that walking hurts more sometimes than running.
Absolutely. Yes.
So
it does. Is that what you find the most challenging thing, Heather?
Well, so I have a pretty brisk pace.
You got some legs on you. Heather's tall, y'all.
And so, like, recently we just did a local race, and Molly was like, well, this will be a great training race for you. Let's walk it. And I'm like, okay, let's walk it. And we maintained a 14:30 for the entire 13 miles.
Oh, that was brutal.
We didn't run. You've got to actually train for that, though. You can't just decide, hey, I'm going to go run the race, but I'm actually going to walk it and keep a 14 whatever pace. It's intense. It's hard.
And it's got to be hard, too, just on those days that you want to run and you're like, nope, my job is not to do that. I have to stick to this, like, specific pace and keep everybody, like, you take your job seriously. You've been doing this long enough. Like, you know what you're doing.
Well, and we get to make friends back there, too, because there are some people that will be with us for the entire race. They usually hate us during the race, and they are like, why are you here again? Oh, you caught up. I can't believe it. Well, you know what? We're here. You're still with us. Until someone tells you to get on a bus, you need to keep going. Let's go have some fun. So I usually will pair people up too and make a friend. We play the game, catch up with someone who has a bigger butt than you, and then try and pass them. And then you catch up to someone else who has a bigger butt, and that just makes it fun.
Who knew? I did not know that was going on back there. All right.
No idea that was going on back there. I'm bebopping to every character stop.
Well, speaking of characters, when I first interviewed you, which was a couple years ago, guys, I've got that link on the blog post if you want to check out. We're in Talk to Molly before. You had said basically you never stop for characters. You don't go to the restroom. Like you just like keep your pace and whatever. I've seen some of your character stops. You've been pulling them out lately.
Right. Well, and
what's happening there?
A lot of it is we don't have runners. People are actually training. And so if everybody is training, then we don't have anything to do.
You're just out there by yourself.
Because a couple of our people are really fast walkers. So we can walk at a faster pace and have time to stop. And there's no character or no lines at the characters when we get there.
Right.
So we can get right up. Sometimes we have to bump out the Run Disney workers. And they usually let us cut in. But once I accidentally bumped out a runner and they were like, oh, you cut in front of them. And I was like, oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that.
I'd be like, yep, here I am. I need my character photo.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. That's funny. Question about tracking. Now, in the groups, a lot of the moderators, especially some of the bigger groups, Run Disney Run, Team Run Disney, they're very protective of you, and they don't allow and they don't put your name out there so that people can track you. And there's two rules of thought on this. One rule of thought is if you've done the training, you don't need a tracker. Just do your 16-minute mile and you're fine. Like, you're stressing yourself out unnecessarily. I happen to be the other person. I just like to know where you are.
Right.
So I know if I can go to that restroom stop or if I can get in this line for the character, that sort of thing. So I always tracked you. Sorry. But how do you feel about people tracking you?
It didn't dawn on me until my first dopey how many people actually tracked us.
A lot of people track you.
Yeah. I think for our first dopey, it also kind of depends on what's going on in the world, you know, because when we're tracked, we usually have 800 to 10,000 people tracking us, depending on how many.
Sure.
And it's a safety and security risk for us and for the people around us. Because as you guys know, when we get to the finish line, it's usually empty, a horde of people.
Correct.
Us. And so when you look at the bad people that are out in the world, we don't want that to interfere with anything. So it's okay until there's something that comes up. But runDisney has assured me that if I want to wipe everybody out, I can have everybody wiped out and not track.
Gotcha.
So as long as nobody causes me problems and
you're okay
we're
with it.
Good with it.
All right. Well, good. I'm glad that we were able to like settle that out and clear the air on how you feel. Guys, be nice to Molly.
To all of them. I mean,
To anybody that's out. Yeah. Oh yeah, you too, Heather.
to all of them, please.
And there are several of us that do different races and stuff.
Yes.
You know, so yes.
Yeah. How long do you think you're going to be a balloon lady?
I don't know. I waver on this all the time. Really, my marathon days, we're going to see about that. You know, I had a Facebook reminder that came up, and I think this year will be my 16th Disney marathon. So I've been doing it a long time. The halves and 10Ks, until Disney kicks me out, I'm going to keep doing it. The full, we'll see. It's a year by year. And every year I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do it again. And then I'm like, okay, time to sign up.
That's how she got me.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's do it.
Do you this is off of Facebook. I asked some questions about what people wanted to hear. This is in the Run Disney Run group. What kind of questions they had for you, and the tracking was like the number one question. But do you have a favorite balloon? Do you have a favorite color? Do you have preferences when it comes to balloons?
I'm not real particular on what we get.
Okay.
I used to be particular, and if my kids wanted something, because I take a lot of time away from my kids to train.
Absolutely.
And I am very serious about my training. So every Saturday I am out there, and during the week I am out there. And so I give them to my kids when I'm done, typically. My favorite balloon is definitely the Death Star at Star Wars. I love that balloon. I do like the light up Mickey Mouse heads. Unless it's windy, because they actually have a little stick inside them that has a black little battery bottom on it. And if it's windy, it's hitting me in the head the whole time, or it hits people around me, and that thing really hurts.
Getting beamed
Yes. So it's not me who hits you with the balloons, it's the wind, and it means you're too close to me, so back off. I don't know.
Balloon injuries. I have another, like, how do you feel about the people, because I know how I feel about it, and I have mellowed over the years, but I used to be really offended when anybody thought it was funny to run as a balloon lady. Yeah. Because as a back of the packer, I didn't need any extra stress. Oh, guys, and if you hear something, it's the fireworks. We're right by the fireworks, and it's beautiful. Woo!
I should turn while we're chatting.
Exactly. We're watching fireworks. This is the Disney.
Wishes.
It's the Disney magic. But how do you feel? You know, are you? In my opinion, it's funny. I get the joke. Like, I completely understand, because I've had that panic of, oh my gosh, like, I want to finish so bad that I totally get the joke that people are thinking it's funny. But as a back of the backer, I also don't need that in my life. Right. I know you've run into these circumstances before. How do you handle it? What do you think about it? Should people stop doing it during the official Run Disney races? Like, outside of Run Disney, do it all you want, but maybe during Run Disney, be cool?
Yeah, during Run Disney, you need to be cool. If there is anybody in the last two corrals, Run Disney will confiscate their balloons.
I saw that happen once.
That has been, and one of the last races, I can't remember which one it was. It might have even been Princess. Someone had our exact same balloon. Now, granted, they're Disney balloons,
right,
but they had our exact same balloon, and I'm like, sorry, you're going to have to get rid of that. And then all the volunteers were doing it. And then Disney actually had to ask them to pull it aside and get rid of it. I'm sorry, if you're spending $25 on that balloon, don't waste your money.
You're right.
You know, I mean, and the environment. Go ahead and just save it till later.
Agreed. My other question, and I think this might be, I don't know, my last, it's not really controversial, but I guess in some worlds it is. The Dead Last Start game. Mm-hmm. So this is something that the Run Disney Run Facebook group does. And when I first heard about it, I was horrified. Again, as a backpacker, I was like feeling like my feelings were up on this, and I was like, how can you guys do that? However, over the years and talking to people who have run this and understanding truly what they're doing and why they do it, they're not doing it to mock a slower person. No. They're literally doing it like as a personal triumph, as to see if they can push themselves to get through this. How do you feel about that? Because you hang out with them before the start, exactly. And so
we have lots of time to hang with them. I think it's a good challenge because one of them in particular is always an A runner. And she has won the 10K numerous times. And I'm like, well, so why are you doing this? Well, I know I'm not going to win, so I want to give myself a different challenge. Yes. They have bingo games. They have different things and challenges that they do. And they, in some cases, have to help people.
Yeah.
So if you've got someone who's struggling, that's just someone else who's going to be able to help you who... You know, they can take 5 minutes to slow down and walk with you or chat with you or hang out with you. And then they're still going to pass you by a mile. But, you know, I think it's good. I think it's fun.
It's very supportive. My initial impression, and I watch this every single year. So the Dead Last Start usually happens half marathons, and it's they're doing it this weekend for the half marathon at Walt Disney World, and then they'll do it again at the Princess Half Marathon, and sometimes they do it at the other races, but there's just usually not as big of a group. And my initial impression, again, was a negative, and I see it every year that this comes up on the Facebook groups where people are really upset about it. But if you stop and you listen and you understand and kind of get to know some of these runners that do this year after year, they're doing it to challenge themselves, but like you said, they're some of the most supportive runners out there.
Yeah.
Unbelievably so. I think, you know, I mean, I've had some of them even say, hey, Patty, when are you going to finish? We'll stick around and we'll see. And I was like, wait, what? No. Yeah. You don't want to do that, y'all.
You'll be done 3 hours before me.
Well, you know, you can go take your shower, get some breakfast, maybe ride an attraction or two, and then I'll be rolling in. And
just
that's cool.
Bring me a drink on your way back. That's all I care
about. But they really are supportive, and they're not doing this to mock or to belittle or anything. It is a completely empowering. You know, one of my good friends, Sarah, she's been doing this at Princess for the last couple of years, and she was just like, that first time that we went up the overpass where I think is around 10 Mile overpass, and you look back and you see how many people you passed.
Yeah.
A huge, incredible feeling, you know, that happens. Obviously, you never see that view.
What's that look like?
Yeah.
I have the garbage truck.
And it's one of my favorite photo moments because when you look back, and I always look back to see, can I find a balloon floating in the air? Because that's my visual. I'm looking to see if I see a balloon, that means, all right, knock it off, get your butt moving. Cut back on some of the character stops and buckle down. Yeah. And so, you know, as someone who's been running the races for quite some time, not Molly level, I was a stalker of balloon ladies.
See?
For that reason.
Right here.
I think I even stalked her at an expo, and she may have been a little uncomfortable about that.
Don't do that.
That's where we met.
That's where we met. And I'm like, so you're from blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I'm like, I'm fine. I swear. I'm normal.
It all worked out. They trained together. They hang together. They're friends. So,
she drags my butt out of bed every week. So it's good. But it's the visual. And it really is. As a runner who has messed around on course, who has been passed by the balloon ladies, who has been told, get it together, get moving, you need that visual. Sometimes you get in your head, and when you see them coming along and encouraging you and telling you, let's go, let's move, you're like, okay, I can do this. And so it's a good thing. It's not something to be stressed or worried about.
So my favorite story in my running career was I did one marathon. It was terrible, horrible. Oh, it was awful. But my favorite moment was when the bus driver right outside of Hollywood Studios, and he's the parade bus driver, or the parade quote unquote bus driver. In other words, the sweeper bus.
The race transportation.
Yeah. And as I walked up, I heard him say something to another runner, and I immediate panic mode because I was looking over my shoulder looking for Molly's balloons, and I knew we were behind pace, and it was a horrible day. It was awful, and this bus driver was there, and I went up to him. I was like, "I'm sorry, I don't mean to eavesdrop, but what did you just tell that person? I need to know what you..." And like, that could have been his daughter. I don't know who it was, but I was like, he told her something important. Yeah. And he looked at me, and he looked down at my bib, and he looked back up at me. He goes, "Patty, no bus ride for you. You're going to finish your marathon today." And he sent me on my way. So my question is, do you get to do that at any point? Can you comfortably say you're moving along well, you're good, just keep moving, or is that something you just never ever
at the finish line?
The finish line,
cross?
Okay, there you go. Okay, fair
more
enough.
Like you did it, you kept it.
Fair enough.
And it really, because really, truly, every couple miles they can throw in wherever they need to. If people are too slow, I know people dawdle through the end of the race, through Epcot, through whatever. But the thing is exactly. But the thing is they've got to get the parks open, the roads open, everything else. Plus, keep in mind, all these are off-duty police officers that are working. They want to get home. They've been up all night. They don't want to sit there and wait for you to drink your margarita to finish the race.
That's true. Drink fast, people. Drink fast.
Or drink and walk. I don't know. Do something. But it's one of those
finish
things.
Line for you.
So it
is
is the finish line, because I have seen them pull golf carts and vans at Mexico.
Okay.
And, last year going into ESPN, I know, thank God this year it's not on the course, but they had 2 huge golf carts that were like 20 people golf carts going into ESPN. And if they have to, they will.
They'll pick you up.
So...
What do you think about this course? What do you think of this change for 2020?
It hasn't sunk in, and I'm worried. No, it'll be fine. But I am so used to knowing exactly where we're going to be at what time and what it's going to temperature wise, or
Sure.
So it's a little nerve wracking, but I'm also kind of excited because I might be getting really bored with the old courses.
Yeah.
So
something different.
Yeah.
Something different.
So.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by and talking with us and answering these questions, because, I've been running since 2011, and as soon as I heard that this balloon lady thing, I became obsessed. And then I found you. Yeah. I reached out and I tried to figure out who you were, and it was finally somebody in one of the groups. They were like, "I know her. Do you want to talk?" I was like, "Yes, I want to talk to Molly." And so it's been my own personal gratification that you've been able to calm me down over the years. And that one race, you guys did pass me, but I did finish. Yeah. And it was like, because the person I was running with kept saying that y'all didn't exist. I was like, "Oh, they exist. You just wait. They exist.
They're real.
They're real. They are real."
And you just made a very good point. You said you kept going even though we passed you. That is the biggest key. You do not stop running.
Don't give it up.
You do not stop going forward until Disney tells you to get on a bus. You keep going.
Yes.
It is your determination, your will, and you are 1% that is going to finish a marathon, or 10%, I think, that's going to finish a half marathon. So just keep pushing through and do it.
I just got chills.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
It's a big deal.
It is.
One of my most favorite memories ever was back in the Tower of Terror days, and I was running with my girlfriend Christina, and the gravediggers were out. And I'd heard about the balloon ladies, and I was scared to death, but they were out, so we stopped, and I'm like, "I have to go to the bathroom," and she's like, "Okay, but if I text you, you better get moving." So I'm in the bathroom, I get the text, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that means we're next to get our picture with the gravediggers." And I come out of the bathroom, and Christina's like, "The balloon ladies just passed," and I was like, "Oh my God." And we hauled booty from the middle of ESPN all the way out to Victory Way. I saw the buses. I finally passed the balloon ladies, and I was like, "Oh my God." But it's still, to this day, one of my very favorite memories of the balloon ladies and runDisney. There's just certain moments in time that you remember forever. But I remember her rounding the corner, and she's like, "You are now being passed. You need to keep moving forward." I was like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh gonna do this.
And that was back in the day when we were the ones who had to tell people to get out of the bathroom. Disney has people that stop at all the bathrooms, stop at all the character stops, so that makes it a lot better.
That does. That make your job is just to encourage and to finish in 16 minutes.
We are not the mean people.
They are not the mean people, guys. Quit trying to say that they're mean and you're scared of them.
Definitely.
They're so nice. They're so nice.
And Heather did mention too, when you do stop to go to the bathroom, that is another thing you should practice. Practice peeing really quick. I don't, especially if you're on property and you're running in and out of, practice going fast. If you can pee quick, you might have a chance to pee on the race course.
Yes.
If not, pee in your pants.
No, don't pee in your pants. But
do what you got to do, y'all.
take care of you. But also, if you have your Garmin, make sure your Garmin is not set to auto pause because when
that's
you
huge.
stop and your watch stops, you are no
Yeah.
longer maintaining that pace, and so you are off track.
I was adorable as a brand new runner. I thought that counted. And,
Same.
Yeah. And as everybody who knows me and has ever run anything with me, I pee a lot. I always have some pee. And so in my training, I thought I was doing so much better than I really was because, I'm stopped or I stopped to mess with my phone for a minute. And so my Garmin would stop and I was like, I'm totally under pace. I'm great. No, I was never great. I was not the case. So yes, very good, very valid point.
Yes.
Don't set to auto step. Those the pee counts, the pee counts. Okay, you gotta keep moving, guys. All right. Well, good luck to everybody this weekend. Good luck to you, ladies.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Hydrate, everybody.
Yes, please hydrate.
Oh, it's gonna be hot. So get out there, get your water on, and come back and fangirl with us again real soon. Bye.